Hello, I'm Alistair Stevenson, and today I'm reviewing the Motorola Razr HD. Now, the HD is the follow-up to the Razr I, and looks a little bit like it, but does have some notable design changes. You'll notice, like the iPhone 5 and Galaxy S3, it actually has a metal lining along its sides. The power button is also slightly textured, and it has an actual matted and patterned back. It's also a little bit bigger than the Razr I. The HD measures in at 132 by 68 by 8.4 millimeters and weighs 146 grams. While this means it isn't as light as things like the iPhone 5, which is only 112 grams, it is still fairly small hand friendly, and we think it's quite nice in hand. An added perk to the design is, like most Motorola phones these days, its chassis is laced with Kevlar, meaning that it's very tough and is scratch resistant. However, unlike certain other Motorola phones, it's not IP57 certified, and you'll notice it doesn't have plugs on its ports, meaning it's not waterproof, only splash-proof. Now, one big selling point for the Razr HD is its screen. It comes with a 4.7-inch, 312 pixel per inch display. Now, while the PPI isn't as high as certain other top-end smartphones, considering the phone's £400 price tag, SIM-free, it's pretty nice. And like the Razr I, the HD's display does have great brightness and clarity levels, with colours really popping out. I'm really impressed with the display thus far. Now, another thing you'll see is it's actually running on Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. The Razr I only recently got upgraded to Jelly Bean, whereas the Razr HD in the UK comes with it pre-installed. However, it's the 4.1 Jelly Bean, not the 4.2 latest edition, so it's one step behind the latest version. You'll also see it has the same custom skin as the Razr I, with the 3 dynamic widgets at its top, one for battery, one for about the city and your weather, and one with the time. They also have the same flip animations as all the other phones. However, the most useful change is without a doubt quick settings. This is done just by swiping to the left, and as you can see, offers you shortcuts to things like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, and mobile data. We think it's quite a nice little touch, because generally these are things we have going in and out of settings to change can be a bit of a pain with. And we found ourselves using it quite a lot, especially when connecting to things like Bluetooth speakers. However, one thing we're not so impressed with is the dual-core processor. Now, even cheaper phones these days have quad-core processors built into them, which is why the Qualcomm dual-core 1.5 GHz processor, while reasonable, is a little disappointing. Originally, the Razr I had an Intel chip, which it claimed you didn't need dual-core or any multi-core processor, and it did pretty well. The Razr HD, however, the performance is a little bit more middling. And as you can see on Antutu, it benched at 9982. Now, while this is on a par with most dual-core handsets, considering how quad-core is now the norm, we would have preferred a little bit of a better processor. However, in general, as you can see, there are no real performance issues on the Razr I, and loading web pages and doing basic tasks is generally fine. The only time we noticed any chug was when running really powerful 3D games from the Android store. Then again, we don't see most business users doing this, so not too much of a problem. Another issue is the 1 gig of RAM, which in terms of memory isn't great, and considering it's to the mid to high tier price range, we would have liked to see 2 gig of RAM, as it is on other top to mid end smartphones. Overall though, it is a fairly decent phone. It has 16 gig of storage, which can be upgraded to a maximum of 32 using the microSD card slot. Summing up the Razr HD, it's pretty much like all our Motorola phones. Quite nice, but not great. It's a solid choice for anyone who just wants a standard Android phone with pretty much no thrills. However, we can't see anybody picking it over, say, the HTC One or Galaxy S4, which is coming out soon. And with the Nexus 4 out as well, offering equitable, if not better performance for a cheaper price range, it's quite hard to fully recommend it. However, if you are a Motorola fan, we would say this is the best one that's currently available in the UK. I'm Alistair Stevenson, thanks for watching.